My name is Henry. I'm a straight man with a naturally perky butt. In high school, the school bully liked to pat my butt and even pinch it. Whenever I resisted, he would spread the rumor that I was a gay who enjoyed such treatment. After I refused him many times, he threatened to beat me, so I didn't dare to resist anymore. Finally, I graduated from high school. I applied for a university far away from my hometown and got admitted successfully. Unexpectedly, on the first day of school, I saw the school bully again. Lucas still looked the same as in high school. He had a crew cut and tattoos on his arm. He didn't look like a good guy at all, yet there were still girls asking for his WeChat. At the first sight of him, I thought I was having an illusion. I rubbed my eyes, and it turned out to be true. Lucas also came to the school. I really wanted to cry. Why can this hooligan who always bullied me and was always slacking off get into a top-tier university? I wanted to slip away quietly before he noticed me. Unexpectedly, the next second, I heard him calling me. Henry, come here. I wonder if my mom foresaw something when she named me. The familiar fear of being dominated by Lucas made me stop in my tracks. He strode over, put his arm around me, and smirked. Henry, why do you run away as soon as you see me? Then, with a loud slap, he slapped my butt. I could even feel the flesh on my butt quivering. Many people around turned their eyes to us. Some even stared at my butt. My face flushed instantly. Lucas pinched my butt and asked, "Do you know which dorm you're in?" I replied weakly, 101. What a coincidence. I'm also in this dorm. I want to die. I was struggling to walk with 2 large suitcases. Lucas thought I was walking too slowly and snatched them from me. He said he had come to the school early and had already packed his things in the dormitory. He was waiting for me at the school gate on purpose. After all, we were from the same hometown and should take care of each other. I wanted to ask him how he knew I was in this school, but then I thought it was unnecessary. Anyway, he was already here, crying bitterly. There were 4 people in a dormitory. When we went in, there was only one person inside. He was very tall, about the same height as Lucas, who was 188 meters tall, but he was completely different from Lucas, a very handsome guy who seemed to be good at studying. I smiled friendly and greeted him. Hello, classmate. My name is Henry. The boy only said his name lightly. Matteo. I awkwardly put down my hand. Lucas sneered and patted my butt, telling me to hurry up and pack my things. I don't know why, but I felt that Matteo was looking at us strangely, as if he disliked us. I didn't pay much attention and focused on packing my things. After finally packing up, Lucas called me to go to the cafeteria for a meal. He didn't give me a chance to refuse. He directly picked me up from the bed and pushed me out of the door. I struggled and asked Matteo, "Are you coming with us, classmate?" He said coldly, "No, you guys go." Lucas didn't give me a chance to say anything else and pulled me away. The university cafeteria was very big, and there were so many dishes that it was dazzling. I ordered a bowl of mixed noodles that I was interested in, and Lucas ordered the same thing behind me. I was eating while scrolling through my phone. Messages in the freshman group kept coming one after another. The signal in the cafeteria was not very good. I waited for a long time before the picture loaded. When I clicked in, it turned out to be Lucas. The photo was a bit blurry. He was looking down at his phone, with an excellent figure, sharp facial features, and a cold expression that was quite intimidating. Okay, I admit that he is a little bit handsome. The guy himself is right here. Why are you still looking at the photo? Lucas suddenly snatched my phone away and smiled ambiguously. My face flushed red, and I loudly defended myself. No, I just happened to swipe to it. Okay, I know. He still had that kind of expression. Lucas always teases me like this. Hurry up and eat. There is a welcome party this afternoon. I buried my head in eating the noodles, holding back my anger and not wanting to talk to him anymore. There are only 3 people in our dormitory. The other one seems to have taken a leave of absence due to something. I feel that Matteo really hates me a little. When I went out this afternoon, he and I touched the doorknob at the same time, but he suddenly let go as if he had touched something dirty. His cold expression also changed a bit, showing a faint trace of disgust. I was startled by him and almost jumped out of the door. Lucas went out 1 step earlier than me. Seeing this scene, his face looked very bad. He was about to say something, but I quickly grabbed his arm and winked at him not to. In the end, he just gave a cold snort and obediently let me pull his arm and leave. When we reached the auditorium, there were already a lot of people. We randomly found a seat and sat down, and then the leaders started speaking. I sat there in a daze, feeling very depressed. Logically speaking, I haven't done anything to make Matteo hate me, right? During puberty, because of my delicate appearance and a more prominent butt than others, I was disliked by many boys in the class. They also made dirty jokes about me and called me a sissy. Could it be that Matteo also dislikes me for this reason? He doesn't seem like that kind of person. The phone buzzed. I opened it and found that someone in the freshman group was at ING everyone. There were a series of pictures when I opened it. It was Matteo's back. He was wearing a black school uniform, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist. He had a straight posture and was carrying a violin in a case on his back. Walking in the misty rain, he had an air of coldness that kept people at a distance. When I first saw him, I almost had an illusion of the male protagonist in an anime I watched when I was a child. The content was that just now Lucas had his arm around me while we were walking. I was almost a head shorter than him, and our bodies were very close. He was mocking me in my ear that I only grew 3 centimeters in 3 years of high school. I was so angry that my face turned red. I looked up as if to hit him. He easily pinched my wrist with his well-defined muscular arm. Compared with him, I had thin arms and legs and was several shades fairer than him. If my gender were changed, we would be just like a young couple flirting. The conference was over. I patted my hot face and stood up to follow Lucas. Matteo must think I'm gay and that's why he dislikes me. I don't know how he got such an illusion. Do I really look like a gay man? But I really am not. How sad. There will be military training in the first year of college. My military training uniform was a bit big, and it looked very funny on me. When lining up in the square formation, the 3 of us in the dormitory just stood in a row. Lucas laughed at me all the way, saying that I looked like a child wearing an adult's clothes. I was so angry that I pursed my lips and ignored him no matter what he said to me. We were unlucky and got assigned to a very strict drill instructor. His face was darker than Lucas's. We called him Black-Faced God. Black-Faced God waved his big hand and said, "Stand at attention for 2 hours first." We let out a collective wail. Black-Faced God's face turned even darker. He roared loudly, "What are you wailing for? Don't make a sound without permission." We all obediently stood at attention right away. It was simply the longest 2 hours in history. I was so hot that I was sweating and feeling dizzy. The baby hairs in front of my forehead were wet and sticking to my face, and the sweat was dripping down drop by drop. Looking up at the person in front of me, I found that Matteo seemed a bit pale in the face and his body was swaying slightly. No way, I thought worriedly. I hope he won't collapse on me later. I wanted to secretly take a step back. I stole a glance at Black-Faced God and found that he was staring at me seriously. Immediately, I didn't dare to move. Sometimes, I really want to slap myself hard twice. I'm really fed up with this lousy crow's mouth of mine. Matteo toppled straight towards me. I wanted to dodge, but somehow my legs went weak. In less than 2 seconds, we both fell to the ground. Matteo looked thin, but in fact he was very heavy. He was pressing on me so hard that I couldn't even get up. Lucas tried to help us quickly, but he underestimated the weight of the 2 of us and almost got crushed too. Finally, the classmates managed to move Matteo away, and I stood up. Black-Faced God pointed at me and another classmate and said, "You too, carry him to the school infirmary." Resignedly, I bent down to support Matteo. Before leaving, Lucas whispered to me that we'd go to the cafeteria for lunch later. After helping Matteo onto the bed in the school infirmary, I originally wanted to slip away, but another classmate spoke first. "Hey, classmate, you stay with him. My girlfriend is looking for me. I'll leave first." I watched him run out like the wind, rushing headlong into his own love. The school nurse checked Matteo gently and said, "He has low blood sugar. He may have a stomachache when he wakes up later. Find him a hot water bag and give him some hot water to drink. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first." All of a sudden, only I and Matteo on the hospital bed were left in the school infirmary. I wanted to go to the school supermarket to buy a hot water bag, but I couldn't buy one and almost got lost. With great difficulty, I returned to the school infirmary and found that Matteo was still unconscious and already sweating cold sweat on his face from the pain. I silently said to him, "Sorry, bro. I'm really not gay." Then I rubbed my hands and reached into Matteo's upper body clothes and placed my hands on his stomach. I don't know if this is useful from a medical perspective, but when I had a stomachache as a child, my mom always massaged me like this, and it really worked for me. Matteo looks thin, but unexpectedly, he has abs. I drooled with envy. I sat by the bed and gently massaged him for a long time. A cool breeze blew in through the window, and drowsiness came over me. I checked my phone and it was already past 12 o'clock. It was time for the afternoon nap, so I picked up my phone and sent a WeChat message to Lucas saying that I wouldn't go for lunch. Then I put my hand back on Matteo's stomach, rested my head on the edge of the bed, and decided to take a nap, probably because I was too tired in the morning. I slept soundly, but in my dream, I inexplicably felt a murderous aura. I opened my eyes groggily and found that Matteo was staring at me intently, and I didn't know when my hand had moved to his chest. It felt quite smooth, Who can come to save me? I forced out 2 awkward laughs and casually withdrew my hand. It was warm, as if still carrying Matteo's body temperature. Matteo, you're awake. The school doctor prescribed some medicine. I'll go get you a glass of water. You should take the medicine. Without waiting for his reply, I dashed out in a flash. I got a glass of water. Just then, I passed by a classmate. I stuffed the water into his hands and asked him to pass it to Matteo for me. Then I ran away myself. If I don't run now, I'll want to dig a hole for myself. Lucas made a bet with me. We played rock, paper, scissors. The loser has to wash the winner's underwear 3 times. I grinned. I've always been lucky at this game. Let Lucas see the power of an extremely lucky person. Sure enough, I won every round in 3 games. I put the just changed underwear in a basin and handed it to him, saying proudly, "Wash it well, little Zhao." Lucas smiled playfully. He seemed quite happy. He even picked up my joke and replied with a yes. Sir, I felt his smile was strange. A chill ran down my spine. I rubbed my arms. When I turned around, I met Matteo's eyes. He seemed to be watching us just now, but when I looked at him, he shifted his gaze without any sign of guilt. Was he just in a daze? Maybe because he knew I helped him, Matteo had a better impression of me. Our class schedules overlap a lot. When I tentatively invited him to go to class with me, he agreed right away. Matteo, I'm also taking this class. How about going together? Okay. There wasn't even a second of hesitation. I was actually a bit touched. Handsome guys are really handsome. We got a lot of looks. I kind of regretted not wearing my height-increasing insoles today. Seeing my annoyed look, Matteo actually took the initiative to ask me, "What's wrong?" I joked, "So many girls are looking in our direction. I'm a bit embarrassed. Are you a straight man?" He seemed a bit confused. Yes. I tried to clarify my true identity to him. I'm really a straight man. I only like sweet and gentle girls. But due to some reasons, many people think I'm gay. Seeing that he didn't say a word, I patted Matteo on the shoulder in a friendly way like Lucas sometimes did to others. I'm really a straight man. Matteo still seemed not to believe it and only said indifferently, "Well, that's quite good." To prove myself, I exaggeratedly said, "Actually, I don't really like homosexuals. I think they're all a bit abnormal." No, I was just talking nonsense. I have no feelings about homosexuality. Why? Matteo actually responded, "Because that's how we straight men are. You're also a straight man. You should understand, right?" Matteo stared at my face for a long time. Then he neither nodded nor shook his head. He just left a faint remark, "We're at the classroom," and walked in. I thought he was a bit strange. Maybe he didn't like chatting with others. So I swallowed the rest of my words and followed him in. Matteo is really an excellent top student. He has a high school classmate named Sebastian in our department. They have a good relationship and sometimes have meals together. After I got a bit closer to Matteo, they would invite me when they saw me eating alone. Sometimes, Sebastian would ask Matteo to copy his homework. Those assignments that gave me a headache were just a casual, I finished them from Matteo. I swear I must become good friends with Matteo so that I can borrow his homework without hesitation. To achieve this goal, I started to try hard to be an even more straight man in front of Matteo and become his good buddy. I searched on the internet for 10 characteristics of straight men, manifestations of straight men. What is a straight man? As I found that there weren't many good characteristics of straight men. I searched again for how to tell if a boy is gay. Judging whether a boy is straight or gay, there are mainly 4 points. Those who give an overall effeminate feeling are gay. Those who wear tight pants are gay. Those who only use their thumbs to play with their phones are straight. Those who like to touch and be touched by their brothers are straight. Well, although I don't understand, I'll give it a try. Lucas is the straightest straight man in my eyes because there are many young ladies in his contact list, and they all think he is very handsome. I decided to imitate his dressing style. Lucas is wearing a short-sleeved shirt and shorts, and his figure is really impressive, which makes people envious. I also wore the same short-sleeved shirt and shorts, with my arms and calves exposed. Although mine are thinner and fairer, I think I do seem more manly than before. When I accompanied Lucas to play basketball, his brothers welcomed me very much. They all volunteered to teach me how to shoot. If I made a basket, they would hug me. I'd like to call it the embrace between men. After playing like this a few times, Lucas probably felt ignored, so he didn't let me play with them. I had to go back to the dormitory alone. Coincidentally, Matteo was there. I deliberately walked back and forth in front of him to show off my super manly outfit. He was sitting in front of the desk using the computer. I leaned against the wall opposite him, playing with my phone with one hand and putting the other in my pocket. It was so cool. After playing with my phone for a while, I came across a really funny video. An idea popped into my head. I walked up to Matteo with my phone, bent over and lay on his back to show him the video on my phone, laughing out loud and saying, "Hey buddy, look. It's so funny." He watched the video twice and said expressionlessly, "It's quite funny." I was discouraged by him and swore to find a video that could make Matteo laugh. For convenience, I didn't take the phone away and let him watch with me. Matteo wasn't reluctant either and just let me lie on him. After watching for a long time, I was out of breath from laughing and my hands were so sore, but Matteo still didn't laugh. Just as I was about to stand up, Matteo suddenly pulled me onto his lap and said, "Your hands are tired, right? This is quite interesting. Just watch like this and your hands won't be tired." I was about to stand up instinctively, but then sat back down because of what he said. I stared blankly and said, "Oh, okay, they say online that straight guys are like this, but they actually like girls in their hearts." Matteo is also one of the straightest of the straight guys. His lap was quite comfortable to sit on. We scrolled through videos like this for a long time. Matteo finally smiled a bit. It was good looking. He was very handsome. Jealousy. After that, Matteo probably really believed that I was a straight guy and started to be willing to have close contact with me. During the holiday, Lucas went home and I stayed in the dorm with Matteo. There were hardly any people in the whole dormitory building. It looked eerie at night. If it weren't for the hundreds of yuan for the bus fare, I wouldn't stay in this horrible place. I wanted to go to the public bathhouse to take a shower, but the emergency exit signs in the corridor emitted a greenish glow. It was quite scary. "Do you want to go take a shower together?" I looked at Matteo pitifully. He glanced at me and said okay. At this time, the public bathhouse is really a bit scary. The dim lights, the yellowed white tiled floor, and several rows of compartments. When you speak, the sound echoes emptily. I stripped naked, leaving only a pair of white underwear, and tiptoed behind Matteo. He has a really good figure. "If you're really scared, how about we take a shower together?" Matteo suddenly said. I looked at his face in shock. He still had a poker face, seemingly really just worried that I was scared. I'm a straight man. A straight man shouldn't refuse such a request from his buddy, right? Moreover, the horror movies I've watched before keep replaying in my mind. While taking a shower, the water from the bathroom heater turns into blood. While taking a shower, suddenly an extra pair of hands helps you wash your hair. While taking a shower, suddenly the crying of a baby comes from the bathhouse. I shivered and nodded, saying okay. The steaming water pours down. I felt a bit inferior. How can Matteo be so perfect in every aspect? Compared with him, I'm just... Matteo noticed my thoughts and actually let out a soft laugh. He glanced at my crotch and said, "It's quite cute." Damn it, my whole body turned red. When I got back to the dormitory later, I climbed onto my bed. I saw Matteo standing below, staring at me. He softly asked, "What's wrong?" He hesitated a bit and said, "Do you want to sleep together?" I was shocked for 2 seconds, then got excited and replied to him, "Of course, come up quickly." Matteo finally regarded me as a real straight man. I'm finally going to be his good buddy who can sleep in the same bed with him. The bed is a bit crowded. I'm used to sleeping on my side facing left. Matteo said he is the same, so I just turned my back to him without any qualms. Mateo's breathing clearly hit my ear, making it itchy. "Do you usually wear perfume?" he asked. I was stunned for a moment. "No, I don't." "It's okay. Maybe it's the smell of your body wash. It's quite fragrant." I laughed and said, "I specially bought this body wash for real men. It does smell good." "What kind of smell do you smell?" "They say it has a faint pine scent in the top note or something." "It's not that smell, but it still smells good." Matteo suddenly got even closer, probably wanting to smell more carefully. I was a bit uncomfortable, but I didn't say anything and just closed my eyes and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, I was tightly hugged by Matteo like a pillow. I also felt something pressing against the crease of my buttocks. It was uncomfortable, so I reached out and felt a hard and warm rod. There came a muffled groan from behind. I realized what it was and suddenly woke up, sitting up abruptly. Matteo looked like a sleepy and handsome young man. He rubbed his eyes, and his voice was hoarse and sexy. "You're awake, Henry." I averted my eyes and didn't dare to look at him at all. I blushed and mumbled something in reply before jumping out of bed. I felt embarrassed to face Matteo for the next few days. I don't know if he remembers that incident, but I can't apologize to him just because of it. He accidentally touched my butt, but I also accidentally touched yours. That thing? Lucas finally came back, breaking the strange atmosphere when it was just me and Matteo. As soon as he entered the dormitory door, he slapped my butt and hugged me tightly, shouting, "Henry, bro missed you so much. You still smell so good." Feeling Matteo's cold gaze, I was afraid that he would think I was gay again. So I pushed Lucas away angrily. You can't slap my butt like this in the future. Why? Lucas was very dissatisfied. Because my girlfriend will be jealous. With this sentence, the two boys in the dormitory stared at me with very scary looks. When did you get a girlfriend? Lucas said in a cold tone, forcing a smile. He must be jealous that I have a girlfriend. Although it was a lie, I still felt great. I used to be inferior to Lucas in every aspect. Every girl who approached us only asked for his WeChat. Felt great. I didn't expect Lucas to react so strongly to me having a girlfriend. He has been giving me the cold shoulder for several days and always speaks sarcastically. It was my turn to go downstairs to carry water. I was gasping for breath. He whispered in my ear sinisterly. So weak, can you even hold your girlfriend? When I was changing clothes in the dormitory, he sneered and said, you're just a skinny weakling. When I went to the cafeteria to eat, he laughed at me. Eating so little. Can you satisfy your girlfriend? I got angry and stood up, shouting at him. Lucas, will you stop it? I just got a girlfriend. Is it really necessary for you to act like this? He gave a cold laugh and carried me on his shoulder in front of everyone, making me lose all my face. Let go of me. I struggled hard, my legs flapping in the air. Regardless of my struggle, he carried me all the way back to the dormitory and threw me on the bed. What are you doing? I stared at him. Lucas didn't say a word, just looked at me with a very terrifying expression, then suddenly bent down, pinned me on the bed, and kissed me. Jiao. Chung. Kissed. Me. So you're the real gay. I struggled desperately. As soon as I opened my mouth, his tongue slipped in. At first, I still had the strength, but later I was so out of breath from the kiss that I felt weak all over. Finally, when it was over, my tongue was still sticking out. Henry, I like you. Please don't fall in love with others. He buried his head on my shoulder, his voice muffled. I gasped for breath as I said, no, don't. I'm not gay. I hate you. Lucas left without saying a word. I thought he seemed a bit sad, but I'm really not gay. Lucas asked for leave and no one knew where he had gone. He didn't return to the dormitory for several days. I sent him a message, Lucas, we're still good brothers. He never replied. Matteo also acted strangely for a few days. I always felt like he was looking at me, but when I turned to look at him, he wasn't. One day, on the way to class, Matteo suddenly asked me, isn't your girlfriend from our school? I made that up. I don't have a girlfriend. I see, he nodded. I get along with Matteo every day, and our relationship has improved a lot. Matteo looks cold, but actually he is a very nice guy. As long as I ask to borrow his homework, he will definitely agree. When I'm afraid to go to the bathhouse because there are few people, he will accompany me and is even willing to scrub my back. He will also accompany me to watch horror movies at night. If I'm scared, he is willing to sleep with me. Although when I wake up in the morning, his penis always pokes me. But I really feel very secure. We have become true good brothers. After our relationship got better, Matteo even became clingy. Even if I don't look for him, he will take the initiative to find me. We eat and sleep together. Sebastian invited me and Matteo to a party at a bar. I thought I had nothing to do anyway, so I agreed, and Matteo also agreed. The girls at the party are all very beautiful and have elegant conversations. One of them named Mia kept talking to me. She was wearing a short-sleeved top and hot pants. She had a great figure. Sitting next to me, she gently brushed her hair, and there was a faint fragrance. After one glass, I felt so dizzy that I couldn't tell which way was up. Are you feeling uncomfortable, Junior? Mia got very close to me, breathing softly in my ear, and her slender hand stroked my face. It's okay. Then, do you want to go to a hotel to rest? I felt so aroused that I stammered when I spoke. Is it okay? Of course. I can take care of you, Junior. Her hand landed on my chest and slowly moved down. He's drunk. Let's go. Suddenly, a ruthless hand reached over. I was easily picked up in a princess carry and held steadily. Lying on the soft big bed, I only felt my whole body burning with heat. A cold hand touched my forehead, and I couldn't help but chase that bit of coolness. If I were given another chance, I definitely wouldn't attend any parties, wouldn't drink fake alcohol, and then I wouldn't sleep with my good buddy. Matteo was lying in bed, completely naked, with many terrible marks on his body. He seemed very down and said, I know, last night was just an accident. Both he and I are straight men. I really didn't expect this to happen. I wanted to comfort him, but as soon as I made a move, my whole body ached. Did I really do that to Matteo? But usually after that kind of thing, isn't it the person who was done to that hurts? Why am I also feeling so miserable? Is it because I was the one exerting the effort? I only suspected for a few seconds. And then Matteo's eyes turned red. He pursed his lips, his eyes were moist, and this face with such an expression. Suddenly, I felt it was normal for me to have a fit of animal passion. Gritting my teeth, I said, "Sorry, Matteo. I know you might feel really disgusted right now. Make a request. Anything is okay, as long as I can do it. I'll promise you." "Really?" Matteo looked at me, on the verge of tears. It's really hard to refuse when a cold and aloof guy shows such an expression. Nodding my head, I stammered, "Yes. I want you to take responsibility for me." I almost spat out my saliva in shock and said, "Aren't you straight? Didn't you throw up when a guy confessed his love and kissed you?" Matteo lowered his head, looking a bit wronged. "I've never said I'm straight. I threw up that time because that guy had just eaten garlic. He told me he actually wanted to take revenge on me because I didn't accept his confession. Don't you want to take responsibility?" "I'll take it." Lucas finally talked to me again. He said he had gone abroad. I was a bit sad. Although he always bullied me in high school, he also protected me many times. I told him to see you next time. And Matteo, since we became a couple, he has shown his true colors. He sticks to me all the time. Wherever I go, he follows. We went shopping together on the weekend and stayed in a hotel at night. Matteo kissed me from the door to the bed. I gasped and went to undo his pants, but he stopped my hand. "Let me do it this time." I was stunned for a moment and nodded hesitantly. Although I was the one last time, I don't have any memory of it. Besides, since my partner said so, what can I do? A man should cherish his partner. Matteo looks cold and aloof, but in bed he is very much like a puppy. After one round, my body is covered with ambiguous bite marks. But why does this feeling seem so familiar? It seemed to be like this that day too. Matteo? I suddenly remembered it, feeling extremely aggrieved. It was clearly Matteo on top that day, and he still had the look of being the one who was done that by me. I wanted to get up and scold him, but he thrust hard, and my waist went weak. All the sounds I let out turned into moans. Damn it.